You were here, we're years ago we were talking about Snow White, right?
Wild.
It's been a long time since you
I think
signed on
like
to make this
2
movie.
years this month since I last sat in this lovely chair and talked to you.
And at that time, well, we were talking about West Side Story at that
Yeah.
time. So did you go directly from West Side, like, did you have to audition for Snow White, or like, oh, they saw you in West Side Story, they're like, you're Snow White?
West Side Story was kind of nowhere near coming out. We were about like 6 months away from release and no footage had been seen. And I actually got a really glowing recommendation from Steven Spielberg to Mark Webb, who directed Snow White, saying that, and I also got a text from Steven kind of alluding to the fact that I had gotten the part before I had found out. Because I wished him a happy Father's Day, as one does. And and he texted me a bunch of apple emojis as a response.
Hey everyone! Today we're diving into the cultural crash of Disney's Snow White remake, the backlash it sparked, and how the Minecraft movie casually stomped all over it. Let's break down what really happened and what it says about Hollywood right now. Disney poured over $250 million into reinventing Snow White, yet it flopped hard at the box office. Why? Because it missed the heart of the original. Meanwhile, a movie about Minecraft, yes, blocks and dirt, crushed it financially. This isn't just about numbers, it's about a mismatch between corporate vision and audience desire. Disney tried to modernize Snow White by removing its romantic core and injecting a different message, but audiences weren't buying it. The result? A movie that felt more like a lecture than a fairy tale.
I do not know what they watched. I did not see it. We were not allowed to watch. We had to stand on our spot backstage. So it sounded like they really liked it, which is really, really exciting. I saw the title card, which looked great. I got really emotional hearing everybody's reactions to it, which was really, really incredible. And so I feel very blessed to be a part of something that seems to be very important to a lot of people, including myself.
Actress Rachel Zegler, who played Snow White, openly criticized the 1937 classic, calling the prince a stalker and dismissing the love story as outdated. She pushed a feminist reimagining that audiences didn't connect with, and her tone came off as dismissive rather than empowering. Instead of generating excitement, her press tour sparked backlash. Fans were confused. Why take on a role if you don't respect the original?
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because like we cast a guy in the movie,
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's gonna have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut, who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Her interviews made it feel like she resented the very story she was supposed to be honoring. Audiences didn't just disagree, they felt disrespected. The Snow White remake felt like it was made to spite fans, not for them. The backlash turned into memes, online rants, and viral TikToks mocking everything from the casting to the press tour. Fans want updates, yes, but not replacements. There's a difference between modernizing and rewriting. Disney seemed to forget that. Instead of building on what people loved, it stripped everything away, and the result was a version of Snow White that nobody asked for. Then came South Park's Into the Pandaverse, which directly mocked Disney's current strategy. It portrayed a world where every iconic character was replaced with a smug, corporate version of feminism. The satire wasn't subtle. It hit hard and exposed the formula that many say is ruining modern franchises. Checkboxes over story, messaging over magic. The episode's villain, an AI Kathleen Kennedy, became the symbol of forced wokeness, and viewers immediately connected it to Disney's real-world decisions. Ouch. While Snow White struggled, Minecraft soared. With no scandals, no political overtones, just a fun, self-aware story, it made over $300 million globally in its opening weekend. It wasn't complicated, it was enjoyable. Kids, teens, and even parents turned out in droves. Theaters were buzzing, and the movie actually felt like an event. That's what movies are supposed to do: entertain. It showed that when you respect the source and your audience, success follows. No PR disasters necessary.
What's the hardest part about fighting a chicken jockey, and what was it like shooting that scene?
Humiliating, very challenging, but you were there with me, encouraging me. I had to use a lot of imagination, but when I saw the movie, hilarious.
The best.
The best. It's one of the funniest moments. I love when the chicken just goes like dunk dunk. He hits his little beak and bring it on.
Dude, and for those that don't know, a chicken jockey in Minecraft universe is actually a baby zombie on the back of a chicken. And it's funny, but it's also kind of terrifying.
It's a little bit terrifying.
And you fought it, and it was a harder fight than you thought it was going to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's the takeaway here? Audiences want fun, not lectures. They don't mind diversity or change. They just don't want to be condescended to. When filmmakers care more about pushing messages than telling good stories, people tune out. Snow White could have been a hit with a little more love for its roots and a little less ego. Instead, it became a cautionary tale. Maybe it's time for Disney to stop remaking classics and start reconnecting with what made them magical in the first place. So, what do you think? Was Rachel unfairly blamed? Should Disney stop with the remakes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's next. See you in the next video.